perspective. And with that, I would like to express the wish to see you next year in New York. Thank you for being with us, and pass on the virtual floor to Minister of Finance, Christos Stαϊκouras, who will talk to us about the rebound of the Greek economy. Mr. Minister, it's a great joy to have you with us.
Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you, the Athens Stock Exchange and the American Hellenic Chamber of Commerce, for their honorary invitation to today's very interesting forum. For the second consecutive year, the Greek Investment Forum is carried out virtually due to the challenge and restrictions posed by the unprecedented health crisis. However, this time, the big difference is that despite the remaining worldwide uncertainty, we are in a much better position thanks to the ongoing vaccination campaigns and the ameliorating economic prospects. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic has been a strong shock for the global and European economy. This has been the case for the Greek economy as well. Nevertheless, a series of positive indicators and recent developments prove that the Greek economy has shown greater resilience than projected and that it is entering the path of recovery. First of all, GDP volume is estimated to have decreased in the first quarter of 2021 by 2.3% year-on-year. This is a better outcome than our forecast, underpinning the baseline scenario of the 2021 Stability Program. Those projections anticipated a decline of 8.8% year-on-year for the first quarter of 2021. All this makes the projection for a stronger recovery of the order of 3.6% for 2021 feasible. Yet, the Commission's estimate in its recent spring forecast is even higher, for a recovery of the size of 4.1% and OECD for 3.8%. Second, in spite of the pressure caused by the pandemic, the prompt and efficient measures taken by the government to support employment managed to cushion the effects of COVID-19 on the labor market. Namely, the average unemployment rate for the 12-month period of 2020 stood at 16.4%, down from 17.3% in the corresponding period of 2019. Third, non-performing loans in Greek financial institutions were significantly reduced to 47.5 billion euros by the end of 2020 versus 75.3 billion euros in June 2019, before our government was elected. Fourth, over the last 9 months, during the crisis, Greece was upgraded by 2 rating agencies, Moody's and Standard & Poor's. Fifth, Greece has successfully tapped, and we will do it once again, as was announced today, the markets at a historical low cost and managed to rebuild its curve. Overall, 25 billion euros were raised from the international markets since our government was elected in July 2019. Sixth, private sector's bank deposits were raised by 25 billion euros since the beginning of the health crisis. 7. PMI climbed to 58 points in May versus 54.4 points in April, which is the largest increase since April 2000. In addition to this, the General Industrial Production Index raised by 5.5% in March year-on-year. This is the 5th consecutive month of year-on-year growth. 8. Economic sentiment indicator, almost reached its pre-pandemic level in May, rising to 108.6 points versus 97.9 points in April. 9. Piraeus Bank successfully completed its capital increase, while important foreign direct investment is flowing in despite the pandemic. Microsoft selected Greece to develop a data center. Volkswagen is launching a pilot project in smart mobility and electric vehicles in one of our islands. Pfizer, impressed by the talent pool, recently announced the creation of a second hub in Thessaloniki. And finally, 10. Despite difficulties caused by the health crisis, 5 enhanced surveillance reports have been successfully completed amid the pandemic. The aforementioned positive economic indicators and developments are fruits of a responsible, well-designed, and efficiently implemented strategy, which has formed a solid base for the rebound of the economy. This strategy consists of 4 main elements. First, implementing a prudent fiscal policy, which was adjusted to the needs and priorities caused by the pandemic during the last 15 months in order to support health, employment, business liquidity, and social cohesion. Second, continuing and promoting the implementation of structural reforms. Some of our focus areas include broadening the tax base by further improving tax collection, fighting tax evasion and smuggling, increasing the public sector's efficiency and productivity, promoting digitalization in both the public and private sector, improving the educational and the justice system, incentivizing innovation and investment in combination with lifting existing barriers, enhancing the sustainability of the pension system, and drastically reducing arrears. These are also main pillars of our RRF project and plan submitted to the European Commission. Third priority, continuing and promoting the implementation of the privatization program, despite adverse market conditions. Significant progress has been made, especially in the Hellenikon project, in regional ports, in marinas, and other areas. And finally, 4, further enhancing the pro-investment policy measures and the business environment. Ladies and gentlemen, the above-mentioned indicators and evolutions inspire optimism for the achievement of strong recovery and sustainable growth. But we do not turn a blind eye to the fact that there are still many and serious difficulties ahead of us. The Greek economy continues to face significant challenges, which require persistent reform efforts that we already make and we are determined to further intensify as we are building, gradually but steadily, the post-coronavirus era, picking up on the point that we had reached in February 2020. We are working prudently, systematically, and with self-confidence and a productive spirit in order to overcome difficulties and to respond to challenges in the best possible way. In this context, we set ambitious but realistic medium-term and long-term goals, achieving high and sustainable growth rates from 2021 onwards, exiting the enhanced surveillance status in 2022, achieving single-digit NPLs in 2022, achieving fiscal equilibrium in 2022, and satisfactory but realistic primary surpluses from 2023. And finally, achieving the upgrade of the Greek economy to investment grade in 2023. The crucial question is how we are going to reach these goals. The answer is through specific policy actions, which include, first, retaining targeted measures to support households and enterprises affected by the economic consequences of the pandemic for as long as deemed necessary, along with a gradual shift to measures fostering the restart of economic activity. Second, continuing the implementation of a prudent fiscal policy towards the targeted reduction of taxes and social security contributions to offer incentives for investment and employment. Third, implementing the new legal framework for debt settlement and second chance arrangement, along with the second phase of the Hercules program, in order to enhance the ability of the banking system to inject funds to the real economy. Fourth priority, continuing and promoting the privatization program. Fifth priority, continuing and accelerating the implementation of structural reforms. Sixth priority, continuing the successful timely completion of the upcoming enhanced surveillance reports. Seventh priority, making the best use of European funds and resources. 2021-2027 multi-annual financial framework, along with its sectoral and regional programs, common agricultural program and policy, and of course, the Next Generation EU. Our country was among the first European member states that submitted its final national recovery and resilience plan, which is called Greece 2.0, to the European Commission, a plan that is cohesive, mature, ambitious, and innovative. This plan aspires to facilitate a paradigm shift in the Greek economy and institutions through ambitious reforms and investments towards an outward-looking, competitive, inclusive, digital, and green economic model. Greece 2.0 is not just a program of economic transition. It is a program of fundamental economic and social transformation affecting economic activity, but also technologies, attitudes, and institutions. A transition that combines economic efficiency with social inclusion and justice. The total amount of resources included in Greece 2.0 adds up to 30.5 billion euros up to 2026, out of which grants are estimated at 17.8 billion euros and loans up to 12.7 billion euros. Greece 2.0 envisages that the total amount of investment resources mobilized will be approximately 60 billion euros. That is double the size of the total RRF envelope. The ambitious investment projects and productivity enhancement reforms included in the plan are expected to make significant contributions towards bridging the large investment gap observed during the financial crisis years, which further deteriorated during the pandemic crisis. These three tools can contribute the biggest part of investment capitals that will be placed into the Greek economy in the upcoming years. Eighth priority, successfully tapping the international markets based on a front-loaded approach. Ninth priority, safeguarding the current status of Greek government bonds. And finally, last priority, actively participating in initiatives on the new European financial architecture and landscape, which will include, among others, the deepening of the economic and monetary union, the completion of the banking union, the promotion of the capital markets union, and modifications to the Stability and Growth Pact. By implementing the above described strategy, we will all be able to create the right conditions for Greece to enter a new path of growth and to attract significant foreign investment. A path that will ensure the integration of our country in the dynamic European economies. Greece has proved that not only it can tackle effectively the biggest health crisis of the last century, but it can also emerge stronger and with a surplus of credibility from it. We have paved the way for a better future. Now it is again up to us to go through it. I'm confident that we'll make it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Stαϊκouras, for your so informative speech about the rebound of the Greek economy. We cordially thank you for your constant support from the very beginning of our forum till now. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to our next distinguished speaker, I would like in my turn to thank our 7 gold sponsors, which are in alphabetical order: Alpha Finance, Ambrosia Capital, Eurobank Equities, Morgan Stanley, NBG Securities, Pantelakis Securities, and Piraeus